Hello, it is now time for SRK Juniors Round 5. I've just arrived at Herefordshire Raceway. I'm excited for this round, as I did well on round 2, which was here as well. It was in the wet, but we'll see how it goes. Today in the dry, as I'm also confident in the dry, but I'm confident all the time, always trying to do better, but hasn't quite worked out for the past few rounds. Let's hope we can change that today. Definitely going to try and use what I've learned from the previous 2 rounds about my racecraft, especially South Coast. That still pains me. So I'm just going to try and just have fun today, actually. I think if I just drive a bit more calmly, don't get too overconfident or overmotivated, it'll be alright. And I haven't been here for a little while, so we'll definitely need some time to get used to it. I think today I'll be able to get it over with and maybe get a good result in. So let's hope for that, and I'll keep you guys updated throughout the day. Heat 1 then, starting in P5 for this one, so on the inside. I was hoping to get a good start and overtake Howie, but it didn't work out, so I was stuck behind him, and let's see what we can do. A few laps later and I'm already on the back of him. I nearly bumped him out the way going out of the first hairpin, however that would have been great as I would have just got another good back position board. On the second hairpin I also just tried to switch back in, but it didn't quite work out. Howie's now full on defensive, but this time I didn't bump him through the hairpin. Yippee! I'm again trying to switch back him or go around his outside at the second hairpin, but it's just not quite working out. I see he's defending it really well, clinging to the inside and not letting me get a switch back on him. This continued for the rest of the race as I could not get past Howie. He did a brilliant job at defending here. Great battle, really enjoyed that. William Markwick actually also got involved with it, so it was basically a 3-way battle for 4th place in this heat. Really happy with that, although a bit annoyed that I couldn't get the position, but good job to Howie. It did seem like his kart was quite a bit off pace though. Normally Howie is much quicker and I felt like I was getting way more speed than him in the straight lines as well. Now it's time for Heat 2 and I'm starting in 2nd place. I try to cut across Vasco as quick as I can because I know he's on my inside, and I do push him onto the grass a little bit. I then try to go up the inside of the driver in P1 at the first hairpin, but it doesn't work, so he's on the inside for the going down the bridge, and Vasco also tries to overtake me there. However, I get a better run down the bridge, and on the right-hander, I overtake the other driver as he just goes wide and leaves me a ton of space. This allows Vasco to also get through, and Iris, my teammate, also to get through, and now they're both right behind me, so I'm hoping to try and just keep the gap or go further ahead without them and just drive off. Vasco did make him go defensive into the first hairpin, however now that there's a little bit of gap I don't have to do that anymore and I can focus on just driving away. And now with the lap progression you can see that I do just that. Every lap I get further and further away from Vasco until there's no way he's catching up, and by the end of the race I'm going across into the next corner, the right-hander, as he's coming down the bridge basically. Great heat in my opinion, good points. Now it's time for Heat 3 in which I'm starting dead last, which is 11th place. Right on the start I get an easy position on the driver in blue as he just seems to not go at all, so I go up his inside easily. Then going under the bridge I try to overtake Ruben as well, however it doesn't quite work out and I try to go around his outside going down the bridge. I get a better run down the bridge again and get ahead of him by the right-hander, however he bumps me out the way a little bit there to get back to the position unfortunately. Then on the hairpin, I have to go around his outside and then go for the inside on the second hairpin, which allows you to finally get the position. Now I just need to catch up to the fighting pack ahead. Exiting the banked right-hander, I get a much better exit than my teammate Lewis, who had a bad run, and I go up his inside at the first hairpin. He then tries to get me back on the second one as I go on the outside, trying to overtake the other driver, which doesn't work out. However, on the exit I again get a better run and stay ahead of him. Now, I know I'm much faster than the driver ahead, so if I just keep it clean and not do anything risky, I should be able to get past him, no problem. And that's exactly what I do, as he just leaves me a ton of space at this banked right-hander. I take it, and easy position gained right there. Now, up ahead, you can watch Charlie get the switchback of his life. Unfortunately though, I'm not able to capitalise on it as Harrison Maxwell is too aware for me to actually go up his inside going under the bridge. However, exiting the banked corner, I am treated to another position as Max Daniel is getting a bad run, and I'm able to go up his inside at the first hairpin. However, I do bump into Harrison by accident and nearly take him out, which then really slows me down, so Max is able to go back up my inside on the second hairpin. Lewis actually sticks his nose in too. However, I'm again able to get ahead of Lewis on the straight. And then going under the bridge, Harrison runs Max wide again, so I'm able to go up Max's inside for the hairpin and gain the position back. Skipping ahead now, I made a few mistakes, so I fell back from Harrison while he overtakes this driver ahead, and now I get a warning board for a bit of contact with him earlier, and instead of being cautious, I decided to just send it up at the next corner and overtake him, just get it over with. I keep the inside going into the straight and up to the first hairpin, so it's a nice, clean, easy move to get me another position. And that's the end of the race. I don't actually remember where I finished.
Just about to be able to answer the question of which of the drivers from this race is going to go through. It's going to go right down to the line. It's a photo finish. It's the line. It's a photo finish for the second time today. And it's Jack Rouch that gets it from an even closer margin. 0.022 seconds from Morehouse Evans. 1,000th tighter than the finish in Heat 11 earlier. Jack Rouch sneaks it into the A final on the line.
Oscar, you got a penalty? No. Oscar, you got a penalty or not? I don't think so.
Okay then, it's time for the A final. I don't get a great start as Luke instantly overtakes me on the start. He then tries to overtake Aubrey at the next hairpin, however isn't quite able to get ahead of him to overtake him, so he has to sit behind. I then get a decent run onto the straight, and going into the banked right-hander, there's a lot of space on the inside and I'm close enough, so I send it and I get the position back. Half a lap later and I'm trying to overtake my teammate Aubrey, however I'm not able to do it as I don't want to go in full send and then take out William Markwick, which would have gotten me a penalty if I hadn't braked. Half a lap later, Aubrey tries to switch back William, and that makes him go beyond the outside for going down the bridge, which makes me take the inside and get a position. This unfortunately made Aubrey lose way more positions, and I didn't mean that for that to happen. I am sorry, Aubrey. Some laps later, and I'm right on the back of William Markwick, and going to the hairpin, he half defends it, and I am able to send a beautiful dive bomb and get the position. Now, going through his right-hander, I get a bit of a slide, however the two ahead are still slowing each other down enough for me to be close, so Charlie nearly cuts him off going into the hairpin, and they're side by side for the next hairpin as well, so I try to go for the inside to overtake Callum Wood. However, when I'm on the inside, he tries to hang around my outside as I get bumped out wide, and that eventually puts Callum in the barrier there, so I got a 5-place penalty for that. I don't think it was quite deserved for me, as I was being bumped out wide, and I no longer saw him on my outside, so comment what you guys thought, but I don't think that was my fault fully, so I don't think I should have gotten a penalty for that. Thank you all for watching. Please comment, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Goodbye.